The moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
He played with Bobby Mack, literally had a nervous breakdown the entire round, and by the time they got to the fourth hole, he was losing by a stroke. It was, you think Tommy Fleetwood's a train wreck. You should have seen what this poor guy went through yesterday playing with him.
Yeah, you know what I want to say in this too? Like, the winner gets the entire pot of earnings.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Paige Beckers. She does it night in, night out. She's been absolutely fantastic for a Dallas Wings team that really isn't going anywhere. We'll see what happens in regards to where they're going to end up in the WNBA draft, because obviously, if they win it, they're probably looking at our buddy, AZ Fudd, to be drafted next year.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season.
Welcome in. It is in-game live game day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number one of our 2-hour extravaganza until 10 p.m. Eastern time, watching, analyzing, and more importantly, betting on the world of sports. My beloved Red Sox in action against the Yankees. Can we get any runs in these playoff games? It hasn't been a great prop, I will tell you, postseason so far. 2 low-scoring games in the process of another one. We got one more coming up with the Dodgers and Cincinnati Reds starting in about an hour or so. We'll break it all down. Have an elimination game, WNBA, win or go home. That's always fun, no matter what the sport is. So we'll have some plays on that as well. We will get to it all. But first up, it's game time. What's betting you off this afternoon / this evening? Gabe, how are you tonight?
Well, we're on the edge of our seat right now. Major League Baseball playoffs have begun, and such unique playoffs compared to other sports. Other sports really aren't decided by one play very often. I guess you could say golf. A golf tournament could be decided by one shot, one missed putt, one made putt. But basketball, the finals are blowouts. The Super Bowl, it's a 3.5-hour game. You've got numerous opportunities to make plays. But look at the difference in this baseball game. It's been one swing, one home run. As simple as that, one home run. And as we speak, actually, there's been another impactful swing. The Boston Red Sox have taken a 2-1 lead. A 2-1 lead. But these baseball playoffs, Scott, they're so close, right? There's such a, it's a mistake here, a mistake there, a play here. Throw out your bat FIP and hard hit rate and all the crap that all these modern cappers want to throw out on us, Scott. It's a baseball game, bro. It's the team that makes the least mistakes, right? Get outs, you know what I mean? Play fundamental baseball and don't make try to make less mistakes than the other team and try to hit a couple of more home runs. But we're off and running right now, and this is just a precursor, Wetzel, to what's to come for the baseball playoffs.
Yeah. Hopefully we get a bunch of runs. That is for sure. So Red Sox lead at 2-1. We'll update the odds on that. First up, though, our opening pickoff. Time to put out the plays that we like being Gabe for the rest of the evening. I'll go first, Gabe, as we go back and forth. We're going to use the Dodger game. I like the Dodgers. Listen, they have about 25 wins this year by 1 run or less. So that the thought is let's lay a run and a half and get it back down to even odds. But You know what? I'll take my chances. It's the postseason. I don't do it too often. I'll just buy them straight, minus the 205. They've dominated the Reds, 5-1 this year, outscored them 30-15. Reds are lucky to be in the postseason. The Dodgers have been waiting all year for this, so I'd be surprised if they lost at 12-3, last 15 at home against Cincinnati as well. 24-9 overall against the Reds at home, last 33 games. So, long story short, Gabe, give me your Dodgers minus the 205 to win tonight against Cincinnati.
I'm going to lay the 1.5 with the Dodgers tonight. I'm going to play the Dodgers to sweep the series, but I'll lay the 1.5 tonight. The last 10 times the Reds and Dodgers have played, it's only been a one-run game twice. And, you know, as Scott mentioned, the Dodgers 5-1. There was only once that they won by one run, right? So for the most part, the Dodgers this year had a few more one-run games than they have in past years. But generally, when the Dodgers win, they win by a couple of runs. I'm expecting Snell to be dominant tonight. So we're going to lay the 1.5 with the Dodgers. And you're getting plus 116. You're even getting plus money with it.
Not bad, not bad. I'm going to go under in the game, Gabe. You know, we talked a little bit yesterday. We both kind of were leaning towards some of the overs with these games. And they all have gone under, pending the Red Sox game. But this one, I do like the under. I think Green will pitch well. I know he had the one outing. He didn't pitch well, but he's too good of a pitcher. I think he'll do okay. I think Snell will pitch okay. 7 is a lot of runs. You need 8 to lose, obviously. 19-4 under. I know it's a goofy stat, but you know what? The bottom line is last 23 series, game ones for the Dodgers. Not postseason series, but just regular season series. Last 23, 19 have gone under, only 4 overs. There's something to it. I don't know what it is, but I'm not going to buck a 19-4 trend, so give me under 7, Dodgers-Cincinnati.
No, I wouldn't expect there to be a ton of runs tonight. And a modern trend, and I don't want to, hang my hat on, everybody's 0-0 right now. Look at the Detroit Tigers, right? We could talk, the Tigers are 1-9 and 2-11 in this. Wow, they're 1-0 in the playoffs right now, right? Everybody is 0-0 right now, but the fact of the matter is I expect both pitchers to be dominant this evening, and this isn't a past trend, guys. This is a fact. Strikeout props are 4-0 to the over on the day. 4-0 on the over today. Obviously, Skubal went over with his 14. Williams went over with his 8. I bet Crochet over 7.5. He's already gone over that number. Fried was over 5.5. He's already gone over his number. So all 4 pitchers today have gone over their strikeout props. All right, pitchers are staying in the games longer, as we see right now, as we expect. So this is where I'm going tonight, guys. Give me Blake Snell over 6.5 strikeouts. Blake Snell has been dominant against the Reds, although it's a small sample size. They're hitting 104 against them. I almost had to do a double take. Is that 194 or no? It's 104. It's like, really? Like, there's a lot of 04s with the Cincinnati Red players and Blake Snell. So the Reds are hitting 104 against Snell. He's got 34 strikeouts in his last 4 starts. Anybody that's paying attention knows that Blake Snell has been effing dominant over the last month or so, right? He was hurt earlier in the year, and it was probably good for them. His arm is fresh right now. He's good to go. And, oh, yeah, by the way, the Reds strike out a lot, guys. The Reds strike out the 7th most in Major League Baseball at 23.3% of their at-bats and in a strikeout. Give me Blake Snell over 6.5 strikeouts.
And, Gabe, just to throw it in there as well, don't forget who threw a no-hitter against the Cincinnati Reds last year. Blake Snell. Pitching for San Francisco, obviously, not the Dodgers. So this guy's got a history of
That's
just
helped out 104, evidently, Scott. That's why it's 104.
There you go. There's a reason for that, exactly, right? So that's not just a fluke. You said it. I'm going to hop on this. Listen, this is a best of 3. It's not best of 5 or best of 7. You could get the Dodgers on FanDuel to sweep at plus 140, 142. You can only win 2-0 or 2-1. It's not like you have that many variables, like if it's a best of 5 or a best of 7. I mean, if you're going to win the series, it's going to be 2-0 or 2-1. So if you want to drop a 270 favorite down to plus money, that's a 300-point swing. Give me the Dodgers to sweep. And if they win 2-1, you know what? Okay, so be it. I'll accept that bet.
And you're going to have Yamamoto on the hill for you as well. Right, so that's not too bad for a Game 2 setting. They have to get it done tonight. And, I'm not dismissing the Reds. Everybody's 0-0. It's a short series. Anything can happen. Hunter Green is a very good pitcher, young pitcher, great young pitcher. The Dodgers hit him a couple of weeks ago, but he pitched well against them before. So, there's not really much to take. But for people that don't realize this, just for the record, Hunter Green grew up a couple of miles from Dodger Stadium. He's from Compton, and they had like a baseball program. Like, there's not a lot of African Americans play baseball as much anymore as you see, right? So he actually was like a product of one of these camps to get people in the inner city to play baseball more. From Compton, imagine making your first start in the playoffs against the Dodgers. Like, this is just, you can't beat the moment. His strikeout prop tonight, guys, is 5.5. He's gone over this number in 7 of his last 9 starts. Let's go Green over 5.5 KOs tonight.
All right, I'll throw one more in there. WNBA, I'm going to go under 157, deciding Game 5. Series is 9-1 under their last 10. I don't think they get to 160 points tonight.
I'll get to my WNBA picks a little bit later on, but I'm a little bit gun-shy about the WNBA right now. I've been wrong more than I've been right in the playoffs, but I got some player props tonight ready to rock.
It's been a difficult WNBA postseason, I have to admit. Yeah, all right, more coming up. In-game live game day.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Well, Shadur, which quarterbacks are you talking about? Because there's some bad quarterback play out there, but the dude who can't beat Dylan Gabriel out for a job and can't beat Joe Flacco out for a job certainly can't lay claim to being better than any other quarterback in the league.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
MVP hopes, as far as my eyes can see, out of here. No way. No way. Not with what I'm seeing around this league right now. Josh Allen should be in front of him. He is. Herbert should be in front of him. He's not just yet. Jalen Hurts should be in front of Lamar Jackson. People may not want to hear that, but it's true. Jordan Love is in front of Lamar Jackson. That's a pump the brakes special. Come on now.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Major League Baseball has decided it is time to put balls and strikes not just in the hands of the umpires, but also the robot umpires, as they say. The ABS system is now officially in place starting next season. Now, keep in mind, they're not just throwing this out there. They have used this at the Arizona Fall League, and they've also used it at different levels of the minor leagues as well.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Everything changed at that point. They went and got Jonquel Jones, and they really had that triple threat monster team. That second year they lost in the WNBA Finals, 3-1 against the Las Vegas Aces. Year 3, they finally get over the top hump. You can question whether they should have won the title with that foul call late in Game 5 that sent Breanna Stewart to the foul line.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
In-game live continues. I'm Gabriel Morency. We're kicking it on the SportsGrid radio and television network. So the Major League Baseball playoffs have begun, and looks like it's going to be quite the ride to the World Series if it's starting off like this. There's been a lot of drama so far, and a couple of early trends. Throw in all the regular season stuff. It doesn't matter who's hot, who's cold, and all that type of stuff. Everybody's 0-0 right now. Look at the Detroit Tigers today. They won the game. They could have easily lost the game. Base running blunder late, Cleveland lose the game, right? There's such a fine line between winning and losing in the Major League Baseball playoffs But as I stated, the strikeouts are there, right? Pitchers are going to stay in the game longer. Pitchers also, it's the playoffs. It's not, you know what I mean? They're regular season. It's always save your arm, save your arm, save your arm. There's no more saving arms anymore. Now it's like, yeah, listen, we're paying this guy $30 million a year for a reason. Like Blake Snell, Glasnow, like, Yamamoto, go out there and pitch. If you can go a complete game and get this done, do it, right? Like, they don't have a quick hook. Unless you're getting lit up, you got a quick hook. But so we're seeing all four, just like I said, there's been 4 pitchers today. All 4 of them have got over the number as far as the strikeout props are concerned. And another thing that I'll note for Major League Baseball playoff betting is during the regular season, you'll notice I never really do the plus 1.5s, right? There's not, there are one-run games, but there's a lot of blowouts in baseball. You got to lay a price like, minus 130, you know what I mean, for minus 140, and I'm getting a 1.5. I like getting a 1.5 in a hockey game, right? I like getting a 1.5 in a hockey game, but 1.5 in a baseball game plus 1.5 doesn't really translate to me. It's like playing a college football teaser. It's no point. Like the games, there's so many variables, and the games are like, there's wide margins, and the odds makers don't really have a full grip on it, that the teasers are better in the NFL because the numbers are sharp. Numbers are so sharp in the NFL, you add 7, you multi whatever, minus 7, and you're getting a chance to win. But in the baseball playoffs, you do get a lot of one-run games. It's a different world in the baseball playoffs. So like today, we split our bet. We like the Guardians, at the plus 150, but we put more actually on the plus 1.5. In this Red Sox game, I didn't take the 1.5. I just took the Red Sox. I took the Red Sox. I took the under. I got under 7. I got the Red Sox at small dogs plus 115. And we already hit both strikeout props. So is Scott Wetzel ready to rock with us? Is Scott back right now? No, we're still working on Scott's audio right now. So we'll get Wetzel back in the rotation, and we'll see what he thinks about some of the props and the player props that are coming up for the Dodger game. I got to tell you guys, I have so many bets. Like the next commercial break, I'm going to have to start firing away because I've been locked up in this game right now, and I haven't started to pull the trigger on my Dodger plays yet. And we went over them off the top of the program a bit, but if you're just joining us, listen, the Dodgers, I just said there's one-run games, but I think the Dodgers, I think in this game tonight, like Dodgers 4-2. I think it'll be a battle. It's probably lower scoring. But ultimately, I think the Dodgers' experience in the postseason, how many Reds have been in this spot before? This is just like another game for the Dodgers. I'm expecting dominance from Blake Snell tonight. Like, I'm expecting, shutout baseball almost from Blake Snell. So I say 4-2, worst-case scenario, but, 4-0? I'm sort of thinking that Snell is dominant. We'll lay the 1.5, but we're also going to play the Dodgers in a sweep at plus 142 or whatever. So that if they win the game by 1, we're not like, you know what I mean? We're like, all right, fine, we'll move on. And plus, we got the Dodgers to win the World Series as well, obviously. So, every game is critical. We went over, I don't want to live in the past too much, but we do like the Snell over 6.5 strikeouts. Like I said, every pitcher's gone over his strikeout prop today. Snell's got 34 strikeouts his last 4 starts. Cincinnati Reds are hitting a $104 against him. They're going to have problems, I think, against Blake Snell tonight. But Hunter Green, great story. Like I said, from Compton, there's not a lot of African Americans to play baseball anymore. I think it's 4% or something ridiculously low. Right? It used to be 15%, 18, whatever. It's it keeps going down and down. And he went to this camp as a kid, and here he is right now pitching at Dodger Stadium tonight. Too bad he's not on the Dodgers, actually. Maybe he will be again in the future. But I think Green's going to have a good game. It doesn't mean he's going to pitch a shutout tonight, but as far as strikeouts are concerned, the Dodgers don't strike out a ton, but they're pretty aggressive. Ohtani usually strikes out 1 or 2 times a game. Mookie Betts is really good, but he'll strike out. Betts is really aggressive at his first at-bat. He swings at everything. So, I think Green's going to go over his strikeout prop. Remember, guys, last year, in Major League Baseball, there's always an unheralded sort of guy that you need. You need a couple of the stiffs in the bullpen to pitch well, and you need some dude that you don't expect to take over for you. Otherwise, you're not going to win. Last year was Tommy Edman for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I think that Edman, I don't know if he's going to do it again like last year, but I get the feeling Edman's big shot Bob Horry. I think Edmonds just one of these. Yeah, I'm a big game player. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, big game. I'm gonna hit a home run tonight. I'm gonna hit a double tonight. Let's go. Right. So I think Edmonds hit prop tonight is 1. It's 0.5. So it's like, will Tommy Edman get a hit? His total base is 0.5. It's the same bet at minus 160. He's hitting 387 against Green in his career. 7 of 18. He's faced him because he was on the Cardinals before too. So he's faced him a lot. Quite a bit, and he's been very successful. Love Tommy Edman tonight to get a hit, at least one hit. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Edman did something special and hit a home run or a triple or something, but whatever. We don't need to get greedy. Let's just play him to get a hit tonight or over 0.5 total bases. And a couple other props we're looking at here. Listen, it's a big game. Give me Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 total bases. Ohtani will hate himself unless he hits a home run or like 2 doubles tonight. I'm expecting Ohtani to line one into the gap at some point tonight, and there's our double, there's our win. Dude, we're getting plus money with Mookie Betts over 1.5 total bases. Mookie's actually hit Green, too. He's hitting 333 against Green. Mookie Betts over 1.5 total bases, plus 145. Freddie Freeman over 1.5 total bases is plus 135. How can you turn down these plus money opportunities for 1.5 bases with Dodger players that you know are going to step up in the playoffs right now? The Dodgers have levels to this, and I think they're going to show that level tonight. And we even got a couple of more pitching props on the other side. In-game live, Major League Baseball, the playoffs are here, and the Boston Red Sox are here right now. Yeah.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They know the minutia of game time decisions, when to call timeouts, when the kick, go for 2, and all that other stuff better than the head coaches, because the head coaches aren't watching 30, 35 games like sports fans are between college football and the NFL. All that the head coaches are doing are watching game films. They may be watching 30 game films, but they're not watching game management. So the fan does know.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
To put up a shut-up time for some of these teams that have scheduled nothing but cupcakes, Donnie, to start the season without truly being tested. Are you, Miami, they've played ranked teams over and over and over and just beat Florida as well. So, some of these teams like Penn State, what are we going to get from them?
The early line, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 1. We got one baseball game going on. We got one more starting in about a half hour or so. Then we got WNBA winner take all going to the finals in about an hour. We'll break that down as well. So some things to bet on, that is for sure. We'll preview some of the games tomorrow. Don't forget, these best of 3 opening round series, there's no days off. even if we need to decide in Game 3. It's today, tomorrow, and then Thursday if necessary. So Red Sox do take a 2-1 lead. Listen, I'm not going to yell and scream, Gabe. Max Fried had 102 pitches, but there was a time when it'd be like, okay, get out of the 7th inning. If it takes 110 pitches, then it takes 110, 115 pitches. The Yankees bullpen has been so bad, so it's the bugaboo that's been there all year. So they pull Fried, and the Red Sox score 2 runs after he's yanked, and they have a 2-1 lead. Crochet, meanwhile, has got 100 pitches exactly through 7. Curious to see if they bring him out for the 8th inning. He obviously is not going to have a complete game, but curious to see if the Red Sox go 2 innings to their bullpen or let Crochet pitch at least one more inning before everything is said and done. So the numbers, Red Sox -4 to 1, and then we got the Yankees plus 285, and the over-under is 4.5 with the over juice to minus 152.
There was the thing with Fried is he was damned if he does, damned if he didn't with Fried, because there were numerous sequences in which it looked like the dam was about to burst and he would get out of trouble, right? So, if he left him in, he was kind of in a problem. You kind of have to show confidence in your bullpen in the first game of the playoffs, but like you said, it's such a short series. There's not a lot of room for error. For me, Scott, I would leave the pitcher in. I would rather lose with my best pitcher in a spot like this. There's nothing to save the arms for, right? There's nothing to save the arms for. They're going to pitch tonight, and then you can pitch in the next series after. So this is what you pay pitchers for, Scott. You know what I mean? Okay, I get it. You want to pull guys after 5 innings when they have no hitters and stuff like Ohtani and Yamamoto. Yet now, like you said, okay, maybe the 9th, but if the starting pitcher is like at 90, if the pitch count's reasonable, I say leave him in as long as he's not losing his stuff. I would rather die on the hill with my best guys, and I'm expecting the Dodgers to do that. That's what's the Dodgers one? The Dodgers don't really have a lot of weaknesses, Scott. Their one weakness has been their bullpen. They've blown 26. I told you, Tanner Scott's blown 10 on his own, right? So they blew 26 saves this year, the Dodgers. You take that bullpen out of the equation, or at least limit the opportunities for them to blow it, they're going to be a very dangerous team.
There was a line today, Gabe, that, boy, I kick myself. I see these things, like I had this ritual in the morning. I get up, have my coffee and donuts, whatever, and I'll go through the lines and see what's there, and I'll see things that jump off the page. Like, wow, I got to go back to that, right? So there was one in the Cleveland-Detroit game. I don't know if you noticed or not. And that game, unfortunately for me, started at 1 o'clock. So by the time I went back to put the bet in, it was 1:15 naturally, and obviously the bet was gone. But they had Gavin Williams. His out total today was 14.5. That means that's less than 5 innings. You go 5 innings, 3 outs an inning, that's 15. So that would go over. This guy has been unhittable. He's got an ERA under 2 since August 1st. I thought I was seeing double. I had to take my contacts out and put my reading glasses on. I'm like, 14.5? How is this dude? I looked it up. He's gone 5 innings or more in 24 of his 31 starts. And the only, the 7 that he didn't is because he got lit up. It's not because of pitch count or anything like goofy like that. I mean, he goes generally 5, 6, 7 innings. It was amazing, and he blew by the number. 14.5, like I said, I kicked myself because I didn't put it in. But some of these numbers, they anticipate the starting pitchers not being in there longer. But today, that's not really the case because we're getting the aces today, like you were talking about. That's why all these strikeout totals are coming in. I wouldn't necessarily count on that for game 3 of a series when you get the third pitcher. But I think the starting pitchers are going to get the benefit of the doubt. And like you said, I would keep them in there. Listen, if you think his arm is going to fall up because he's throwing 110 pitches, well, then so be it. But I got to get through 7. If my starting pitcher, and Fried has allowed 4 hits, up until that point. If my starting pitcher's doing well, I'm keeping him in the game through 7.
Hunter Green's out prop tonight is 15.5. 15.5 for Hunter Green. 16.5 for Blake Snell.
Yeah, I think Snell has got a good chance of going over.
I think the Dodgers, generally before Snell, like Tampa, remember Cash at Tampa, Snell used to get mad. And he said, tell him to look at the average the 3rd time through the order. But he's better now than the 3rd time through the order.
I remember that. All right, more baseball coming up.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circa Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They know the minutia of game time decisions, when to call timeouts, when the kick, go for 2, and all that other stuff better than the head coaches, because the head coaches aren't watching 30, 35 games like sports fans are between college football and the NFL. All the head coaches are doing are watching game films. They may be watching 30 game films, but they're not watching game management. So the fan does know.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
It's put up a shut-up time for some of these teams that have scheduled nothing but cupcakes, Donnie, to start the season without truly being tested. Are you, right, Miami, they've played ranked teams over and over and over and just beat Florida as well. So, some of these teams like Penn State, what are we going to get from them?
The early line, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, game day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 1. Red Sox Crochet did come out, and he retired the Stanks in order 1, 2, 3. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I don't think the Yankees have gotten a hit since the Volpe home run in the second inning. I saw them make a note of that about an inning or 2 ago, and I don't think the Yankees have gotten a hit since then. So he did come out. He had 100 pitches. Took him about 10 pitches to get through the bottom of the 8th inning. So top of the 9th they go. Red Sox on top 2-1. Still only a minus 295. Yankees plus 220. They did get a runner on base. My bad. I thought they got through the 8th inning. There's your first base hit, the black cloud. Bottom of the 8th inning they go. So Crochet is still in there. Let's talk a little baseball with our good buddy Rob Donaldson. UnderdogFantasy.com. UnderdogFantasy.com for all the fun and games that they have there. What's going on, Rob? How are you tonight?
Hey, man, I'm doing well. I already guaranteed a winning night in baseball, and it's always nice to start the playoffs off on a hot note.
There you go. What were some of your winners?
Yeah, so the big one early was Tariq Skubal over 18.5 outs at plus 150. I get it's the analytics era. I get that bullpens are going to be more and more utilized, but a team like the Tigers that struggles to score, I feel like you got to go out and with your guy.
Yeah, and especially bullpens are key. We know this, but bullpens are going to be a bigger key potentially in a game 3 in these wild card series, right? So if I'm a manager, I would want nothing more than my guy to give me as many innings as possible. He's not pitching again anyways until the next series, and just save that bullpen if we can. So you talked about the outs. I'll get your take on the outs for tonight's game for the Dodgers and the Reds, but 4-0, Rob, the strikeout props today. All 4 pitchers have gone over their posted number. Williams went over. He got the 8. Crochet obviously was dominant today. He sailed over his number. And Fried's gone over his number. All 4 pitchers have gone over their number. And I don't really see this party stopping tonight. I'm expecting big things from Snell tonight. He's just been straight fire over the last month. What's your take on the pitching prop tonight and Blake Snell and the game as a whole?
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it with Blake Snell. I think he's going to be able to go out and do his thing. And Hunter Green on the other side, too, at plus 160. That's a crazy, just inherent number because no pitcher to that caliber should probably ever be carrying that number. But because it is the Dodgers, because it is a super team, because it is a playoff atmosphere in LA, all of a sudden we're seeing a number that we probably won't ever see again with a guy like a Hunter Green. And for that reason, through the first 5 innings, because of the chance to shove for the Reds and Hunter Green, I'm taking a stab at the Reds' first 5 money line, because if it's knotted up 0-0, if it's knotted up 1-1, you get your money back. And if the Reds can scrape out 1-0 off of Snell, all of a sudden you're getting paid out on a plus 160 dog that I think actually has a live chance.
I'm a Dodger fan, but I can't disagree. I can't disagree with the take with the first 5.
Do they win the game, Rob? The Reds?
I think both bullpens are kind of in a spot where they're so up in the air, wild card-ish, that if it gets to the back end knotted up, it's a flip of a coin. Because yeah, the Dodgers have the better lineup, but I think the Reds have a little bit of an edge in terms of the bullpen department. Both bullpens, I think, are very susceptible to actually giving up the runs in this game, let alone, just kind of the Hunter Green, Blake Snell kind of dynamic in the front end. I think it's going to be a lot like this Red Sox-Yankees game, where the second we see a starters pulled is where we start to actually see the runs start to come in a little bit.
Don't forget, though, Tyler Glasnow is part of that Dodgers bullpen now.
Right.
Tyler Glasnow, he's coming out of the bullpen in this series. Like the Dodgers are a big analytic team. Like, they're very analytical about everything that they do. So, they went through numerous meetings about, all right, who do we have coming out of the pen, et cetera. Like, Kershaw's not on the roster, but he would be on the roster if they win this series and the next series, et cetera. So they're really micromanaging Rob and Scott is the best way of putting it. So he's available, so I wouldn't be shocked if Glasnow pitches tonight, Rob, actually out of the bullpen. I don't think we're seeing Blake Trinan tonight. That's my point. And I don't think they want Tanner Scott on the hill either.
Yeah.
No, I'm right there with you. And what I'm seeing from different strategies from different teams, tomorrow the Cubs are trying out an opener, right? And Andrew Kittredge. And I think that just kind of speaks to the playoff strategy of, hey, let's try to save our starters potentially for that next series, which can sometimes get people in trouble. But also in these individual 3-game sets, saving a guy like Glasnow, saving a guy like Shohei, saving your really bullpen weapons. I think if a guy like a Blake Snell is taking the bump, you don't want to pair those bullpen weapons up with that guy. You just want your ace to go out there and shove.
Well, are you okay? I mean, listen, the Dodgers, Rob, had so many options, right? Heck, they could have started Kershaw, for goodness sakes. So, but are you okay with what their apparent plan is? 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, and to Gabe's point, rather, I think it's going to be interesting to see how they utilize their bullpen with a guy like Snell, because it could be something where he only goes out and tosses 3 or 4 innings, and they save him potentially for that game 3. Like, that could 100% be that dynamic. But because I think this is the only game that the Reds have a chance to actually draw blood in this series, we're going to see the Dodgers kind of put their best foot forward, and we'll kind of see what happens based on the result of tonight's action.
Shohei Ohtani would pitch, potentially, which would be super exciting, but potentially it would be Shohei Ohtani pitching for the Dodgers in Game 1 against the Phillies.
Yeah. And that's that's fire on fire. That's a ton of fun. And sometimes, as we've kind of seen, that team that's coming out of the wild card round has a little bit more steam than the team that's just kind of sitting on their hands through that first week. So, that would definitely be a really fun matchup out of the gate.
Baseball players have not been off for 5 days for the entire year. They're never off for more than 1 day at a time. And now you're off for a week. It throws off their timing. It's like they're starting all over. I think it's an advantage for the pitchers, right? The pitchers are, they can throw their pitches. I think it really does hurt the hitters. And I've always thought, Scott, with a 5-game series, you're better off being the visiting team than the home team. Who cares about the home field advantage in baseball anyways? Those first 2 games, Rob, you're able to win 1 game on the road. You can go home and win the series after. Like, you really put a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on the higher seed to win both games at home, guys.
Yeah. Who's in bigger trouble, Rob? Cleveland or San Diego for tomorrow?
I think San Diego's actually getting a nice little surprise of a layup tomorrow on the money line and just an outright winner, because they are essentially the Cubs, that is, are trying to essentially save Shota Imanaga for Game 1 of the Brewers series, which, if you're looking ahead in the playoffs, I feel like you're getting a little bit too cute with it. go out there and handle business and just get it done, in my opinion, and let the kind of the chips fall where they may after that. But hey, I mean, if the Cubs bullpen can get it done, obviously that strategy pays off. But I think it's a really good opportunity for a Padres offense rather to actually get a steal on the board tomorrow.
They left a ton of runs on the field today.
Well, that's where I was going to go, Gabe. Are we at the point where we just bet all unders tomorrow? I mean, we're in the process of 3-0 under heading into the Dodger game unless something crazy happens in this Red Sox game.
I actually am liking a little bit of a sneaky over in that Yankees-Red Sox game tomorrow because Rodon has actually been pitching some of his worst baseball of the season coming into the playoffs, even though the surface level runs given up haven't really been there in terms of kind of egregious numbers, but he has been giving up runs and he has been giving up a ton of hard contact. And when you're looking at the Red Sox with Bregman, Rafaela, Ref Snyder, a bunch of righties who are hitting that left-handed side of the ball really, really well, all of a sudden the Red Sox could be getting after the guy who's supposed to be carrying an under type of number. And Brian Bayo on the other side, I think he's probably susceptible for 2 or 3 himself. So yeah, I actually do really like a sneaky over in that matchup there tomorrow.
So far, 2 unders, 2-1 Red Sox bottom of the 8th, maybe 3 unders. And I kind of like the under in the Cincinnati Dodger game. So we might go 4-0, but maybe it flips tomorrow without the Aces being on the hill. So, Rob, great job as always, man. Appreciate it. Check out the website, underdogfantasy.com. That's underdogfantasy.com. We'll do it again soon. Thanks, Rob.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They know the minutia of game time decisions, when to call timeouts, when the kick, go for 2, and all that other stuff better than the head coaches, because the head coaches aren't watching 30, 35 games like sports fans are between college football and the NFL. All the head coaches are doing are watching game films. They may be watching 30 game films, but they're not watching game management. So the fan does know.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
It's put up a shut-up time for some of these teams that have scheduled nothing but cupcakes, Donnie, to start the season without truly being tested. Are you, right, Miami, they've played ranked teams over and over and over and just beat Florida as well. So, some of these teams like Penn State, what are we going to get from them?
The early line, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe. Thanks again, Rob Donaldson. UnderdogFantasy.com, UnderdogFantasy.com. So, listen, if you thought the Red Sox were going to win this series, they had to win today with Crochet on the hill, right? And we're kind of seeing the Red Sox playing that out. They brought Crochet out there for the 8th inning with 100 pitches. He got 2 outs, did allow a runner on, the first base runner since the second inning. And now they brought their closer in, Gabe, with 2 out, runner on first base, Chapman. They're going to ask Chapman to do a 4-out save, which is, listen, it's not the end of the world. But his pitch count, he's already got, he's going to have to throw at least 5 pitches to get this 1 out because he's got a 2-2 count. But back to what my point is, like the Red Sox realize, like everyone else realizes, you got to win with Crochet on the hill if you think you're going to win this series. So they're pulling out all the stops tonight.
And Chapman just made a massive mistake in which he didn't know the rules. He threw to first base 3 times. You're only allowed to do it twice.
That's irresponsible.
So is it him? Is it the coaching staff? That's the type of thing, dude. This is like, there's new rules. They dodge a bullet. Oh my goodness. They made that harder than it had to be, but they get out of it. But Scott, it's pretty crazy. This is the first time we've seen this in the playoffs where, these stupid rules that they created, these modern stupid rules. All right, they took the ghost runner out of the playoffs, but all the other stuff still exists. So, you can only throw to first base twice. He threw 3 times, so the runner advanced to second base. I'm like, this is strange. I was like, what, is this a balk? What just happened? And they're like, no, he threw. Because I was like, that's not a balk, but he threw to first base.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing, though, when he goes out. Hey, Araldis, remember, 2 times only now. I don't know how that happens.
How don't you know that, Gabe? I know he's a closer, and he probably hasn't had that many runners on base. He's done a great job, but you
imagine
don't know
if they
rules?
tied the winning. Imagine they tied the game on that. Like there was a single now, and it'd be like, you got to be kidding me. You got on second base because we threw it to first base 3 times.
Yeah. And then the right fielder just almost.
Even the catcher, Scott. After the second time, you're allowed to verbally go, hey, you can't, don't all this. You know what I mean? Tell him. No Moss to first base. You can't do it again. Someone should have yelled from the dugout to him as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Gabe. That's where, when the dugout is giving the catcher the sign to what throw to what pitch, he's also got to be saying and remind him now he can't throw to third base anymore. There's a lot of guys that could be responsible for doing that. You can blame the pitcher ultimately. He's got to know. But the catcher should have reminded him, and then even the guys in the dugout who are calling the pitch should have reminded him as well.
Oh, the manager
and then the right fielder
well.
damn near ran into the center field and tried to make an easy catch. They almost broke each other's neck.
It was like it was an easy catch, and he stepped in front of him. That's why I said, oh, boy, you made that harder than it had to be. That's just one of those Chris Webber timeout type debates. Whose fault was it? Right? Did he not? No,
Webber always
he
says he was told. Weber's always excuses. Always they told me to call time. They told me to call time.
I'm a diehard Michigan fan. So you know what really happened, and it's super annoying with the true story. Steve Fisher told everybody in the huddle, we don't have any timeouts. That was adamantly portrayed to everybody. Chris Webber wasn't listening. He's the star player. You know what I mean? He's standing around the huddle. He didn't hear it. And one of the jackasses on the bench player, Scott, yelled timeout. Call timeout, call timeout. And Webber heard it and called timeout. But I'm just saying, there was the whole, you know what I mean? It's one of those who's to blame type of deals, right? There was a CFL game last year, Scott, where a guy just signed and he didn't know that if you took a knee in the end zone, it was a single point. They lost the game because of it. There was 10 seconds left in the game. And he said after, nobody told me. That's on the coaches. And it's all right, you're in a new league. This is the rule. You're a kick returner. You can't assume players, Scott, you know it all the time. You see NFL players, they don't know the overtime rules. Remember Donovan McNabb goes, I don't know the overtime rules. I didn't know the game was over. They don't know.
Yeah. The Pittsburgh Steelers guy 2 weeks ago when he hit the ball, then he didn't go back to go get the ball, against Seattle. There he's just kind of okay, whatever.
It's a fumble. Yeah, and you know what? He's a rookie from college, and he thought it was a dead ball. Because in college, it was like, dude, it's not a dead ball. It's not a dead ball. Right? Same thing. You blame the special teams coach, or is it the kid that just... But, yeah, you figure those guys... Chapman's been around the league long enough that... Come on. You're a pitcher. You got to know the rule there, all this. You're lucky that you didn't give up, the tying run because of that. Because Red Sox fans and Yankee fans are amongst the most unforgiving, right? Dodger fans are starting to become kind of boorish as well. like expectations. You know what I mean? Oh, they're you know, like, how come they didn't win 120 games? And it's not that easy, but nobody gets crucified like a baseball player on the Boston Red Sox or New York Yankees. Let's call it out for what it is.
We got a lot of scars, man. Whether it's Bucky Dents, whether it's the playoff game, from even a couple of years ago. I mean, we got a lot of. We got the 3-0 comeback. Thank goodness we had that. But we got the Aaron Boone home run.
They've owned the Yankees in the playoffs, though. 3 of the last 4, 3 of the last 5.
Yeah.
They've owned the Yankees in the playoffs, which wouldn't sit well with me if I was a Yankee fan. Like, it's one thing to get eliminated in the playoffs, but if you get eliminated by Boston all the time, like, if I was a Yankee fan, I would be enraged. But it is what it is. I was going to say I would blame Cashman more than Boone, but I guess it's both of them.
Yeah. If in doubt, they blame Boone. So, but Cashman's
That's
not
what he
far
was
behind.
hired for. That's what he was hired for.
Yeah. They're blaming Cashman. It's just because they say Boone's not making any decisions. It's Cashman calling down. So we really ultimately got to blame Cashman.
Managers don't decide anything. They really don't, guys. They really do not decide very much during a game. A hit and run, whatever. I'm not saying they don't here and there. They'll suggest, like, yeah, I'm going to do this. But the pitches, Scott, like the pitches that are thrown are predetermined by analytics. And they're locked in on this. He's going to miss 72% of the time, throw the ball there. It's locked in. It's not for debate. It just isn't. The pitch count, not for debate. Like, you know what I mean? Everything is predetermined. And the manager is just like, driving like a subway train where it's kind of running itself, but they need someone at the front of the train. You're just sitting there reading a newspaper.
Hour number 2 coming up next.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They know the minutia of game time decisions, when to call timeouts, when the kick, go for 2, and all that other stuff better than the head coaches, because the head coaches aren't watching 30, 35 games like sports fans are between college football and the NFL. All the head coaches are doing are watching game films. They may be watching 30 game films, but they're not watching game management. So the fan does know.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
It's put up a shut-up time for some of these teams that have scheduled nothing but cupcakes, Donnie, to start the season without truly being tested. Are you, right, Miami, they've played ranked teams over and over and over and just beat Florida as well. So, some of these teams like Penn State, what are we going to get from them?
The early line, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe closing out hour number 1 with a little classic Red Sox baseball with the Yankees. Games used to go 3.5, sometimes even 4 hours. We're not quite on that pace, but we're 3 hours in, and we're still in the ninth inning. So We got a little ways to go, depending on how long it takes to get through the top of the ninth and then obviously the bottom of the ninth inning. So Red Sox lead 2-1. They got a runner on second base with 2 out. I think the Yankee heart of the order is coming up. I'll double check here, but I think it's the big boys in the bottom of the ninth. You got Chapman, who closed out the 8th inning, getting the final out. He figures to be out there for the 9th inning. So it should be interesting. They had a little challenge on a stolen base by the Red Sox, who've actually stolen some bases this year, which is always kind of weird talking about old school Red Sox baseball. You don't get that too often, but they got a runner on second base now with 2 out. Nice little insurance run. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Numbers are locked, waiting for the start of the Dodger game that's going to be here in about 10 minutes or so. I'm shy. I wonder if they wait, Gabe. If this thing is bottom of the 9th inning and there's like 1 out and no one on, I wonder if they just kind of just nudge the start of that Dodger Reds game. Just a couple of moments, let people get into the stadium. This way they don't have to overlap each other.
I say they don't. I think they're going to start right on when they say they're going to start, because it's a baseball game. Who knows how long it can go on for, right? So I think they're going. I think it's going to start right around the corner. But listen, I'm on the Red Sox in this game, and Story just stole second base, and the Yankees challenged it rightfully. I don't know. I would say rightfully so. You might as well, but it was clear that he was safe. But my beef with this is it's a pile of crap. It really is. He was safe because he slid into second base with an oven mitt on. He's got this long-ass oven mitt. Yeah. No, I'm telling you, Scott, and he was safe by like half a foot, and he was safe by like this much. His glove's this long. I'm like, that's garbage. Like, what are we doing? You can't tell me, and the Red Sox cash in and score 3-1. There's the insurance run.
Yeah.
Double.
There's it.
There's a double. But I was going to say, you can't tell me that you can't make a glove, Scott, that they can wear, that they can steal bases, that they won't get stepped on with a cleat. You can't. You tell me you can't, like a football glove with a little shell on top of it. Of course you can. What's this oven mitt thing that they're wearing? Like, seriously. Oh, I got this big oven mitt on. It's a disgrace. It's like a foot long, that glove. It's a disgrace.
I was going to say, it's got to be, honestly, at least 5-6 inches longer than his fingers, right? I mean, nobody has that big of fingers, right? Yeah. Which means you're 5-6 inches closer to the bag than what you really should be.
Yeah. There's already a fine line, Scott, between being out and safe and a stolen base. You're spotting a guy half a foot.
With an oven mitt. They have rules now, Gabe, about the protection of the shoulders and the elbows for batters. Now that we have a lot more stolen bases, I wonder if someone looks into that this offseason and says, listen, these guys are out there with mitts.
They don't.
Yeah.
I would. That'd be one of my first beefs. I'd say we're dropping the oven mitts. I'd say to get Under Armour on the line. Who's our sponsor? Whoever the Rawlings, whoever the hell is making the equipment, get them on the line and tell them to make some effing gloves for next year. And we'll tell players, if you don't like it, don't wear them. And tough. That's it. These are the gloves you have to wear when you steal a base. You're not allowed coming in with an oven mitt anymore.
I wouldn't allow it at all. I really wouldn't. Batting glove or nothing. If I don't see fingers, then you're not wearing a mitt. This is not wintertime.
It's like O.J. Simpson. It must fit. The glove must fit. You know what I mean? Like, the arms check the heads. Yeah. No, it's true, though, Scott. Good point. You're checking pictures for this and that, and let me look at your pants. I want to see your jock strap here. You say the same thing. How hard? I want to see your hand. Like on first base, the umpire, let me see your hand, bro. I just want to make sure your fingers are not, you don't have this super glove on here. Like it's like wearing clown shoes, Scott. Like, what are we doing?
If you put the glove like next to his hand, and just see how much further the glove is going, it's like, no, you're not going 6 inches further than your fingers. It's not happening. Sorry, take it off.
It bothers me.
Or we'll throw you out.
I'm even on the Red Sox, but I just saw it and I'm like, hey, safe because of the oven, man. That's why he's safe.
Yeah. So, all right, 3-1 Red Sox. Boy, they're now 20-1. Plus 830 on the Yanks. You want to do a little flyer? You could grab the Yankees plus 1.5 runs, plus 290.
No, I would just go for the money line at that point. That's a pretty big number. Sort of like your 27-21 score. Like if we took every team in the playoffs that were down 2 runs in the 9th inning, I bet you we cash at least once or twice at like plus 800, 10-1 or something, right? It's got to be some comebacks.
Yeah, you would think. You see the stat about the Mets? 0-70 entering the ninth inning this year. They didn't have one ninth inning comeback. Whether
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
they know the minutia of game time decisions, when to call timeouts, when the kick, go for 2, and all that other stuff better than the head coaches, because the head coaches aren't watching 30, 35 games like sports fans are between college football and the NFL. All the head coaches are doing are watching game films. They may be watching 30 game films, but they're not watching game management. So the fan does know.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
To put up a shut-up time for some of these teams that have scheduled nothing but cupcakes, Donnie, to start the season without truly being tested. Are you, right, Miami, they've played ranked teams over and over and over and just beat Florida as well. So, some of these teams like Penn State, what are we going to get from them?
The early line, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back. It is in-game live game day here on the grid. Hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. Scott and Gabe until 10 p.m. Eastern time. We're finishing up game number 3 on the 4-game docket with the Red Sox leading the Yankees 3-1 heading to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Yanks do have the top of the order up as I thought they would. And then we got a WNBA winner-take-all game as well. So with that, let us bring in the coach, Mr. James Young. Talk a little WNBA. What's going on, Coach? How are you tonight?
Better than the WNBA commissioner, but we do have a big game 5 tipping off in about a half hour.
All right, let's start. You want to start with the commissioner? We'll get that out of the way. The current commissioner. This has been a season-long thing. Players, coaches, you name it. Analysts bashing the commissioner. Gabe and I, we make fun of them because of the goofy scheduling that they do. Is she going to survive? And what do you think of the comments today by the Minnesota head coach and players?
Absolutely not. She's not going to survive this. But I want people to realize that this was such a strategic and smart play by Nafisa Collier. Number one, who's going to benefit the most if there's a WNBA lockout? Oh, Unrivaled. Who's one of the main people of Unrivaled? Oh, that's right. It's Nafisa Collier. So she's going to benefit, obviously, Scotty, if they were to have some kind of work stoppage. Number two, the valuation of Unrivaled is up to $250 million, right? So with her being involved in Unrivaled and then in the union leadership of the WNBA, Scotty, she's got an inner workings of it. Yesterday's price is not today's price. And because of Caitlin Clark, and because of Angel Reese, whether you like it or not, because of Paige Beckers, when they came out of the college game, they brought the ratings. And Nafisha was so smart, Scott. I think it was brilliant what she did. When she brought up Angel, Paige, Caitlin, now you throw race out the window. It's gone. Because now you're bringing up white and black players. And for Kathy to say, this is what Nafisha said, that the WNBA, the players need to thank, those young players need to thank the WNBA to give them a platform. They were making any money before they got there.
They gave the WNBA the platform. Yeah, they gave the WNBA the platform.
Exactly.
But let me ask you, Coach.
Go ahead.
And it's fascinating what you said about the unrivaled parallel with Collier. And unrivaled pays more money than the WNBA does. And if I'm the WNBA, I'd be very worried, too, about like a Saudi takeover, a Wall Street hedge fund takeover. Just says, you know what? We'll just offer all these women $500,000 a year, and we'll crush the WNBA. But let me ask you, two things can be right at the same time. I think Engelbert's in over her head. Everhart here.
Wasn't that the catcher in the Bad News Bears? Engelbert?
Yeah. And I'm thinking of the Humperdinck, the singer, Scott.
Engelbert Humperdinck as well,
But, sorry, Coach, but let me ask you. Two things are right. Minnesota comes off as whiny. Take the commissioner talk out. Reeves, she hates the refs. I get it. You know, you can't always blame the league when you lose all the time. Every other team in the league is playing with the same refs. And Collier's comments, Coach, reverberated so strongly today. Mark Cuban jumped in and basically said, their referees are our future NBA referees. We better, what's going on here? And I didn't really realize that, Coach, that the WNBA referees come from the G League.
Some. That's not completely true. Some of the other WNBA referee in major women's college basketball. And I'm aware of some. So some of them do both. I think the thing is there is an identity problem that the league has. And it's not the player's fault. It is the commissioner.
Oh, just for the record, guys, I think we should probably read. The bases are freaking loaded for the Yankees right now.
Yeah,
it started off with
loaded.
a single. It started off with a single.
Oh, Coach,
sorry about your Mets, Coach. Pile on there if you want, Scott. Sorry about the Mets. How the Jets doing, Coach, this year? Last year, you were all Aaron Rodgers.
Something's wrong with my head.
I'm just coming at you.
The Knicks are going to be great this year. The Knicks will be great. But listen, Scott, Gabe, at the end of the day, it's a problem. It's a problem. Unrivaled is a problem. The fact that their ratings in the WNBA has coincided with those three young superstars going from the most watched Final Fours have been the last 3 years. It's gone right into the WNBA, right? And then you look at the fact that we'll wait another year or two. Then you got to look at the next crop of players in college. The Hannah Hidalgos, the Olivia Miles, the Lauren Betts, Juju Watkins, who's going to sit out the 25-26 season. These younger players, because of social media, NIL, they make more money. Think about this. I'm going to tell you this really quick. I've heard that Olivia Miles could be getting 7 figures in NIL money.
I was going to ask you. So who's the highest kid paid? Because the kid, the new kid going to BYU, Coach, he's making $5 million.
Debanza.
Yeah, so he's the first ever $5 million a year player in college basketball. Dude, I was going to say, Coach, Texas Tech are paying a softball pitcher $1 million a year. So what's the highest paid women's college? What's Watkins getting? What's the highest paid player in college basketball, women's game?
Well, Watkins is probably over $1 million. You got to also realize that Juju Watkins gave up her money of revenue sharing so they can sign arguably the top player of the 2026
Doesn't she have a Nike deal already, too, even in college?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's nuts. But that's the thing. When you say AJ Debanza getting $5 million this year from BYU, if he would have been a rookie in the NBA next year and he's an M1 pick, he's getting $5 million. Okay? Olivia Miles could be getting $1 million this year. She would have gotten $75,000 to play in the WNBA. Do people understand the problem we have here? And
that's why poor Brittany got busted in Russia, Coach. That's why she was in Russia. She was making no money.
Right. That's a problem. That's why they all went overseas. And they created Unrivaled to take away from them having to go overseas, partly because of BG. But here's the crux of it. You can't tell me that they're not making money when they're bragging about deals that they're trying to force a sale to Connecticut Sun, in which they're going to get, I think, $350 million.
Bobby Marks.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Coach, but Bobby Marks today, former GM, he had a great thing. He's on the side of the players. He goes, let's just do the quick math here. He goes, you just got 16,000 people on Sunday at the game. Average ticket price was $50. He goes, you had a gate revenue of $875,000 for one game. Scott, their salary cap is $1.5 million per team for the year. Where's this money going? They're bringing in $1 million a night. Where's the money going?
It is an absolute joke. And Nafisha Collier literally just pulled the wool over everyone's eyes. It's a problem that they have right now with negotiations.
Man, the Yankees are choking this away.
We got 2 outs. 2 out. What? They didn't score on a sac fly to right field.
They didn't send him. They didn't send him.
That's crazy.
But you know what? You don't want to potentially have the last out on a double play like that, and only there's no reward. You're one single away from tying the game.
Yeah. All right, talk with the coach. We'll get his WNBA plays for tonight when we come back in Game Live.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Well, Shadur, which quarterbacks are you talking about? Because there's some bad quarterback play out there, but the dude who can't beat Dylan Gabriel out for a job and can't beat Joe Flacco out for a job certainly can't lay claim to being better than any other quarterback in the league.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
MVP hopes, as far as my eyes can see, out of here. No way. No way. Not with what I'm seeing around this league right now. Josh Allen should be in front of him. He is. Herbert should be in front of him. He's not just yet. Jalen Hurts should be in front of Lamar Jackson. People may not want to hear that, but it's true. Jordan Love is in front of Lamar Jackson. That's a pump the brakes special. Come on now.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Major League Baseball has decided it is time to put balls and strikes not just in the hands of the umpires, but also the robot umpires, as they say. The ABS system is now officially in place starting next season. Now, keep in mind, they're not just throwing this out there. They have used this at the Arizona Fall League, and they've also used it at different levels of the minor leagues as well.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Everything changed at that point. They went and got Jonquel Jones, and they really had that triple threat monster team. That second year they lost in the WNBA Finals, 3-1 against the Las Vegas Aces. Year 3, they finally get over the top hump. You can question whether they should have won the title with that foul call late in Game 5 that sent Breanna Stewart to the foul line.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game day here on the grid. Red Sox win 3-1. Wow. We'll break it more down when we're done with the coach here, but Yankees had the bases loaded, nobody out, and they could not score. So Red Sox with a crochet on the hill, absolute must-win for them if they're going to win this series, right, with their ace. I think a 1-0 series lead heading into tomorrow. What's
Fire
that,
Aaron Boone. Fire Aaron Boone.
Fire Aaron Boone. He should have pitched himself up there.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's my whole point. I get it. Oh, Boone, they're going to say, oh, Boone, they're going to be calling in WFO, Boone this, and he did shouldn't have that. What do you want him to do? The bases are loaded with nobody out. Somebody's got to make a play. The manager can't go up there and hold their hand. Like, you know what I mean? It's same with, like, Jay Franklin the other night. He can't hold Drew Aller's hand. Like, Drew Aller throws a stupid interception into triple coverage. What the hell? Like, oh, is Franklin suddenly an idiot because of that? But, wow. I can understand, though, Yankees fans' rage right now. Bases loaded, nobody out, and you get nothing. Wow.
Yeah. Strikeout, line out to right field where the guy doesn't tag, and then a strikeout. You know, you had the top of the order up, and in the middle of the order couldn't come through. Top of the order did load the bases. So we'll get back to that in a little bit because there's some interesting things going on in baseball today. So Dodgers get the Reds out 1-2-3, top of the first. They're batting now bottom of the first inning. So, Coach, we got the WNBA winner take all. I got to tell you, never in a million years that I think the Indiana Fever, first of all, would be, getting past the first round, let alone, a chance to get to the WNBA Finals. But here they sit after winning last game. They even the series at 2. FanDuel's got them as 8.5-point dogs now at Las Vegas, over under 158.5. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, the line is a huge line, Scotty. If I'm going to take anything, I'm going to take the team total under for the Indiana Fever. Indiana Fever, when they've won games in the playoffs, have scored, I think, 85 or more points. It's a game 5. It's an elimination game, and it's just like we usually see in the NBA. You're going to see half-court basketball, slow the game down, play in the half court. So to me, I'm looking at the team total under for the Indiana Fever. I think the spot's going to be too big for them. To me, once you're going over 5.5 points and you're looking at a 3-possession game.
Ohtani did it again. Sorry, Coach. Ohtani just went deep. Unbelievable.
He leads the game off with a home run. Well, we told everybody before.
Okay, but no, Shohei, I need 2+ bases for my guy Freddie Freeman. He's coming up this inning, right? He should be coming up pretty soon.
We told everybody before one of our picks, Ohtani, was over 1.5 total bases, minus 115. My exact words were, guys, he's going to hit a home run or he's going to line one into the gap for a double in this game. He's a big game player. Boom, Ohtani gets the party started. 1-0 Dodgers.
Well, the party's starting, but I'll tell you the party's going to be, I think it's going to be for Indiana. Now,
Coach, let me just play devil's advocate and throw at you. And I agree. Like, I can't believe they even made the playoffs, let alone, like, win and what they do. And then they always punch back. They are totally playing with house money, Coach. They're like there's just like, our old days, Coach. This is like UC Riverside playing in the conference championship game. They're playing with house money, baby. You know what I mean? Like, they're playing with house money. Like, the Fever have no pressure and nothing to lose tonight. You've got to admit that at least. So that's on their side, I think.
It is. But I still think that's why I think the point spread's too much, right? But I think it's going to be a half-court basketball game. So if I'm going under, then I got to look at where I'm Becky Hammond. I got to cut off the head of the snake. I'm going under 21.5 points for Kelsey Mitchell. Under 6 of the last 10 games, including the playoffs. 2 of the 4 games she went under so far. 10 out of her last 16 games, she's gone under 21.5 points. Half-court game, slow the game down. Becky says, make someone else beat me. They're not going to let Kelsey Mitchell beat them. Under 21.5 points for Kelsey Mitchell tonight.
I'm going public as it gets, guys. Give me Asia Wilson over 25.5 points. We saw what she did she had 31 in the last game, but we saw what she did in the elimination game against the Seattle Storm. She shows everybody. You can talk about all these young girls. They're all great. They're all phenoms. Asia Wilson's the best scorer, best player in the WNBA. Let's be real. Guys, she scored 38 of the 74 points. She scored 50% of their points in the elimination game. I got to play it, Coach. I know it's a little square, but she averages 25 points a game to begin with in the playoffs. And I'm going with Gray over 10.5 because somebody else has got to contribute a bit. I know Young will as well, but Coach, Chelsea Gray, man, she's got over 10.5 in 4 of the last 5 games. She's checking in, 12, 14 points a game.
Hey, listen, there's 2 ways you can look at this. All right, Gabe. And then I agree with you. Number one is you can look at over. I was going to go points plus rebounds because if it's going to be a half-court battle, that means she's going to have to attack and win a rebounding battle. And I don't think Aaliyah Boston nor Natasha Howard can stay with her. So I was looking at 35.5 points plus rebounds. Her last 4 elimination games, Gabe, 40, 43, 34, 40. Big-time players step up in big games. So I expect that. If you want to just lay the juice, I mean, Asia Wilson to get a double-double is at, I think it's at plus 160, 165. I know it's a lot of juice, but that seems like a layup to me. Like, I mean, can you see a, 22-point, 14-rebound game where she could have 6-7 rebounds at the end of the first quarter. And here's the other thing, guys. If the game's going to be close, she may play all 40 minutes. She's not coming out.
Yeah.
They're not going to foul her out. So to me,
that's the only way we lose her prop, I think. The only way we lose her prop is if the Aces are up by 22 with 6 minutes left or something.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why I think you look at, in my opinion, you look at something like her to get a double-double, even though it's at minus 170, 180. I'm willing to lay the juice down because it seems to me like it's a layup. It's a slam dunk. Well, probably a layup of women's basketball. Slam dunk if it's a man, but you get where I'm going.
Same thing. How about the thought of, no New York, no Minnesota, no Caitlin Clark, and you got 2 West Coast teams? Possibility with Las Vegas and Phoenix. Is this like the worst case scenario for the WNBA?
No, the worst case scenario is if Indiana wins tonight. Because at least you have Asia Wilson. What are they going to do for 7 games? Show Caitlin Clark? Like that's torture.
Well, you would get phony stories, coach, of her maybe playing. That's what you'd get. They would say, all right, let's pretend that maybe she's going to play.
I believe it's Santa Claus.
Are Phoenix winning the championship, coach? The Mercury?
Yes, I think they actually will.
Yeah.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They know the minutia of game time decisions, when to call timeouts, when the kick, go for 2, and all that other stuff better than the head coaches, because the head coaches aren't watching 30, 35 games like sports fans are between college football and the NFL. All the head coaches are doing are watching game films. They may be watching 30 game films, but they're not watching game management. So the fan does know.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
It's put up a shut-up time for some of these teams that have scheduled nothing but cupcakes, Donnie, to start the season without truly being tested. Are you, right, Miami, they've played ranked teams over and over and over and just beat Florida as well. So, some of these teams like Penn State, what are we going to get from them?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Thanks for the coach joining us. A little WNBA preview. That game tips off in about 10 minutes or so, so we'll continue to look at that. I like the under in the game. Not a bad way to go with Indiana team total under, as the coach was doing. Because chances are, if the game's going to go under, it's because, Indiana's not scoring. So why risk the game going over with Las Vegas winning, 95 to 60, right? So
it's a pretty low number, though, Scott. I'm with you. Listen, most of these games have gone under in this series, but there's been a few. I don't think Vegas let up. I don't think Indiana wants to walk the ball up the court either. Indiana have had success in their higher scoring games, like just kind of make it crazy and stuff. I'm weary about that total that it's come down. Put it this way: what do the odds makers make it? The odds makers made it like 160 or so, right? 160 and a half. Right. And the bettors are the ones that have bet it down. I trust the odds maker more than the bettor.
That's true. This would be a halfway decent over maybe first half and then under second half when the nerves kick in if it's a close game. You need a close game, I think, for it to be an under. If it's a blowout, then I think it's going over.
No, but if it's sort of close, then Indiana's going to foul late as well. You know what I mean? Let's say they're down 80 to 70 or something. They're not going to tap out. Right. So to me, it goes under if Vegas murder them. If Vegas are just dominant and they come out and they win like 80 to 60 or something like that, 88, 88, 664 or something. Right. So I can sort of see it. But to me, I'm weary of going against the Fever right now. Even with I get it. Las Vegas is back home. Look, we saw, Scott, Las Vegas is also back home when they played Seattle. The Seattle, the Storm. They won by 1. Storm. They barely won the game. And it took Asia Wilson scoring 38 points to do it. And Indiana are totally, I respect the hell out of the coach. He knows a hell of a lot more about the women's game and all these players. But I'm not so sure Kelsey Mitchell chokes tonight. Or he goes, Leah Boston and Mitchell can't keep up. Oh, they kept up on Sunday, didn't they? What's going to, yeah, it's in Vegas now, but this Fever team, Scott, have really defied logic, haven't they, a lot over the last month?
They really have.
Every time you think they're done, they're not. It's amazing.
Yeah. We were talking about them losing the last couple of games of the regular season so they would finish with a higher draft choice and gear up for next year.
$1,000 on the Atlanta Dream in the first series, okay? So I've had enough about it. It's just there's no way they beat the Dream in Game 3. Well, there's no way.
In Atlanta, no way. No way. I mean, they defied logic.
They didn't even just win; they beat them easily in Atlanta. They went in, they won by like 8 or something. And the same thing with Vegas. Like every time you think, Vegas are going to show, Vegas are really good. And remember, guys, when they were like 12-1 and everyone gave up on them, I didn't. Remember, too, the dude from Covers kind of laughed at you and I. When I brought up Vegas, we were talking about Phoenix. He goes, Minnesota, clearly you're going to win. No, it could be Minnesota. Right? Here we are now.
Yeah, we got to get that guy back, this week.
Yeah, he's going to be in a bad mood, but he is he knows WNBA, that guy. We'll give him credit.
Yeah.
But he's a Lynx fan, so he took it personal. But the thing is, when we see, Scott, you watch the Aces. They're really good, but it's kind of Asia Wilson's really good. You know what I mean? They don't shoot the 3 very well. They are very athletic, if you'll notice. They're tougher than most teams. You know what I mean? Like Chelsea Gray's tough. That Jackie Young girl's really sort of tough. She dies for loose balls. And they are sort of they're tough women on that team. And they're kind of big, but it's very Asia Wilson-like. And it's not like they have a fluent offense. It could be very sort of chunky. You look at Phoenix, Scott, play, they're very fluent, bro. You know what I mean? Alyssa Thomas, Sabley, they mix it up. Bonner, like Scott said, off the bench, like Coach said, they're really a diverse team, Phoenix. Vegas is basically get the ball to Asia Wilson, right? So, like I said, I think I'm talking myself into the Fever tonight, Scott, at the +8, 8.5.
Yeah. I think they either get blown out because they just run out of gas or they win outright. I don't think it's going to be...
Or they lose a heartbreaker at the buzzer. You're right. I'm totally right. It's super close or it's a massacre.
Or it's just a massive, We won their championship by forcing a 5th game, and we got nothing left in the tank. But I don't think that's going to happen. They've been such a great story.
I'm online a lot, Scott, and I like, just seeing little tidbits and stuff. The pregame warm-up, bro, they look pretty loose and happy. Like, Sophia Cunningham's not playing, but she's filming them on center court. They're all dancing and high-fiving and hitting shots from half court. They're playing loose. That's why I brought it up. They're a loose food. They're a loose bunch.
Yeah, be dangerous. Should be a good game. All right, back to the baseball board when we come back with George Kurtz.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circa Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They know the minutia of game time decisions, when to call timeouts, when the kick, go for 2, and all that other stuff better than the head coaches, because the head coaches aren't watching 30, 35 games like sports fans are between college football and the NFL. All the head coaches are doing are watching game films. They may be watching 30 game films, but they're not watching game management. So the fan does know.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
To put up a shut-up time for some of these teams that have scheduled nothing but cupcakes, Donnie, to start the season without truly being tested. Are you, right, Miami, they've played ranked teams over and over and over and just beat Florida as well. So, some of these teams like Penn State, what are we going to get from them?
The early line, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Hour number 2. We got baseball. We got bottom of the second inning, and Dodgers leading Cincinnati 1-0 thanks to an Ohtani home run to lead off the bottom of the first inning against Hunter Green. So far, no hits for the Reds. 1-2-3 in the first, 1-2-3 in the second, which was a bet on FanDuel. 6 up, 6 down. I think I paid like 5-1, believe it or not. So let's talk a little baseball with our good buddy, SportsGrid host. You see it here all the time here on the grid, Mr. George Kurtz. What's going on, George? Sorry about your Stanks. They had one. I don't know if you can necessarily blame Aaron Boone. I know he gets blamed for every loss, but I don't know if he did anything wrong this time around. But before we get to that, give me your thoughts, Dodgers. It's 1-0 LA. They got a runner on first base now, 1 out, bottom of the second. Where are you going with this one?
LA. I mean, it's hard to beat that starting pitching. I think LA might be the one team that cruises through the first round without any real worries here. They'll beat Cincinnati. I think their playoffs will start in the divisional round there. The thing is, the Reds, it's a great story. And hey, they cashed a ticket for me. Thank you, Cincinnati. But that being said, who are you worried about on the Reds? Right, who are you worried about? I mean, De La Cruz, all right, but we're not talking a superstar here. Spencer Steer, TJ Friedel. You're not worried about these guys. I think the Dodgers are going to go right through the Reds here. It wouldn't shock me if a sweep is happening here. And I think the Dodgers would really like the sweep. This way they could save Ohtani for game 1 of the divisional series.
I've got a bet on Steer tonight, guys. I thought I brought it up earlier, but, the bullets are flying fast here on the show with that Yankee-Red Sox game the way it was. But Steer strikes out a lot. Over 1.5 strikeouts is plus 155. He's faced Snell 6 times. He's struck it out 4 times against him. And Andujar is quite the strikeout machine as well. Just 1 strikeout for Andujar tonight is minus 185. A couple of strikeout props there. So come on, Scott. You know Kurtz is going to be. He's Captain Chalk. You knew he was going to be on my Dodgers tonight.
Yeah.
The question is, Kurtz, who do you like with the Aces and the Fever in the pivotal Game 5 in the WNBA tonight? I know you've been anxiously awaiting this game all day.
I had no idea there was a Game 5 of WNBA tonight. I know there's a lot of hoopla going on as far as somebody complained about leadership and something
commissioner.
like that. I did see that. I did see
Yes.
that interview, which is wow. When's the last time you see an NFL player or an MLB player take on the commissioner like that? So I do know what's going on there, but I had no idea there was a Game 5 tonight.
We'll give you the Aces for Captain Chalk. All kidding aside, I want to bring it up. Aces are minus 8.5. Kurtz on the Aces. So, are the Yankees going to bounce back tomorrow, Kurtz?
Yeah, I told you Sunday night. I figured they would lose tonight, right? They haven't hit Crochet all season long. Nothing changed tonight. The guy's better than they are. Really, anyway, you look at it, he's better than they are here. So you sort of chalked it up that they were going to lose. Now you got to win the next two. It's not easy. You didn't hit tonight at all, and when you had a chance against Chapman the ninth, a couple of productive outs. Game's tied. We're still playing here. Instead, you got nothing there, right? Strikeout, pretty much a pop out, another strikeout there. So a lot of pressure on the Yanks now. So we'll see if they can bounce back. Listen, do I trust Rodon? No, he's been really good this year, but in an elimination game, not so sure I trust him here. I think I told you I was picking Boston to win Game 1, Yankees to win the series. Even though I guess I was right, I don't feel that great about the Yankees after tonight.
What do you think of
have any
Chapman?
issues? Yeah.
We got to ask about Chapman, Scott. What do you think of Chapman throwing the ball, not knowing about the third time? Do you blame him or like the catcher, the dugout? Somebody should tell him, hey, remember, you can't throw it to first base again.
You're not going to tell him every time, right? You're not going to say, listen, hey.
This is a pretty big game, George. Hey, Scott, if there's ever a time to do it, Scott, I'd say,
that's on the picture. That's on the picture. Yeah. You got to know it's been a couple of years now. We're not talking about this is the first year of this, right? It's been a couple of years. You got to know that's the rule here.
How would he not know? Does he not throw?
It's a brain cramp. He went through the thought process there to think about what to throw the next pitch here. So I think I'm not blaming Cora for this or whoever the catcher was at that moment. So no, I'm putting that. I mean, we don't blame the players for anything. It's always the manager's fault. It's always the coach's fault. No, this is Chapman's fault.
Here's one for you too.
Well,
now it worked out.
And
they didn't score, right? So this is what I was going to tell you before. This is the first time, George, all year the Red Sox counted on Chapman going more than an inning to close out a game. Not one time. Looked it up. He's pitched 1 inning or less every single time, and they brought him in the bottom of the 8th. And I know, listen, I'm like everyone else. So what, Scott? He should be able to pitch one extra batter. Right? What's the big deal? I get that, but people are creatures of habit. He's not used to going back to the dugout and then going back out there, which is, he gave up 3 base hits.
Tomorrow? What about his availability tomorrow now?
Yeah, he's got 25 or so pitches under his belt, but any issue with that?
I thought it was the right move. I mean, listen, you want in a 5-game, maybe a 7-game series, fine, save him for the 9th inning. In a 3-game series, win Game 1. Yeah, I don't know what the numbers are as far as percentage of who wins after winning Game 1, but I bet you it's pretty high. Right, so win Game 1 here. Yeah, and you don't want to lose.
18-2.
You don't. That's 90%. 90% of the time, you win Game 1, you win this series, right? And you don't want to lose the Crochet start here. So looking at Chapman, he threw 24 pitches. He should be fine tomorrow. He should be fine. I think he'll be back in tomorrow. He should be good here. The one thing you could knock Boone on doing was he did put Jazz in as the defensive replacement that took out the right-hander, right? Jazz is a better player than Rosario, but that left Jazz to face Chapman in a crucial spot and not Rosario against Chapman, which probably would be a better matchup that you would like here. That's probably the only thing you would knock Boone on tonight. I don't knock Boone for taking Fried out at 102. I doubt that was his decision. I'm pretty sure he's told, listen, Fried, 102, 105, he's out by the analytics department there, so I don't think that was really him. And Weaver is the 7th inning guy. He's been bad the second half, but he is the 7th inning guy. So I guess they didn't do anything wacko tonight. Like I said, it comes down to the batters. If you just would have gotten 2 productive outs, we might still be playing.
Yeah, 18-2. Teams that win the first game of these best-of-3 series, 18-2. So that said, if you had to choose one, give me the pecking order, in fact. Cleveland, San Diego, Yankees. Give me the pecking order of most likely to actually win the series.
Oh, Cleveland. I'd probably go, man. I thought San Diego would win today. So that's the only one I got wrong today. I really thought the Padres would win. I'd probably go them 1, Yankees 2, Cleveland 3. Cleveland just doesn't have the offense. And they threw that game away today. I mean, all those runs that Detroit's errors, or miscues here. I know the second one, they're not going to call an error. But that's a miscue. They shouldn't have scored any runs here. So it was really Cleveland's fault. I think they've been very lucky to be here. So I would say if I'm going to put it in order, I'll go San Diego 1 because I think they're still a good team here. Yankees 2, Cleveland 3. And by the way, even if some of the Dodgers win tonight, the Reds will be 4 anyway.
I don't think Cleveland are done. I don't think they're done. Detroit nearly threw it away late as well, right? Detroit just sort of have bad baseball luck right now. I think San Diego are done. And we'll see what Dylan Cease does, but I don't think San Diego are going to win 2 games in a row at Wrigley. That place is rocking. You can just sort of feel like, yeah, we're not winning in this. Like, I don't think they're going to win there. And I think the Yankees are in trouble as well. I'll say Cleveland, Scott, out of the 3. I think the Guardians have the best shot of coming back.
Yeah. But they had a runner on third base, nobody out. Think about it. Yankees had bases loaded, nobody out, bottom of the 9th, and couldn't score. But they needed at least 2 runs, whereas the Guards had runner on third base, nobody out in the bottom of the 9th, needed 1 run, and they couldn't punch them home. So
that's it. It's fundamental baseball. Fundamental baseball. These games are tied, right? I mean, Cleveland had to strike out to a tap out. You got to put the bat on the ball, but it's not today's game. Everyone's trying to hit the home run here. It's not the same game. Choke up on the bat, put the ball on play, and I see you might have different outcomes here, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. I think Gabe's probably right. I'm not so sure any of these games, any of these teams that lost today are going to win. Probably not. Scott already told you the numbers. 90% of the time you lose.
Don't you think Cleveland win tomorrow, though, George? Or you really think Detroit are going to beat them again? I think Cleveland bounce back tomorrow.
They're not a team that scores a lot of runs. I mean, Tanner Bibby's on the mound. He's, I guess technically he's not their race now. They thought it was Williams who pitched great today. I think it'll be another close game, Gabe. I think it's another 2-1, 3-2 game. I'll be on the under. Neither team's really hitting right now. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, so I think it'll be a very close here. They are at home. Maybe they pull it out.
Yeah. Talk more with George Kurtz. We'll break down the games individually for tomorrow when we come back. In Game Live, Game Day on the Grid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circa Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They know the minutia of game time decisions, when to call timeouts, when the kick, go for 2, and all that other stuff better than the head coaches, because the head coaches aren't watching 30, 35 games like sports fans are between college football and the NFL. All the head coaches are doing are watching game films. They may be watching 30 game films, but they're not watching game management. So the fan does know.
In Game Live, only on SportsGrid.
To put up a shut-up time for some of these teams that have scheduled nothing but cupcakes, Donnie, to start the season without truly being tested. Are you, right, Miami, they've played ranked teams over and over and over and just beat Florida as well. So, some of these teams like Penn State, what are we going to get from them?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2. Keeping an eye on WNBA elimination game. They've just tipped off. And then, obviously, Cincinnati and the LA Dodgers. Dodgers lead 1-0. Cincy batting top of the third inning. They got a runner on second base, their first base runner of the night, as Blake Snell is doing a pretty good job here. Although, as soon as I say that, he gave up a double and now he walked the batter. So he had 2 outs in the third inning with 25 pitches. Looked like he was going to get out of this thing. But in typical Blake Snell, there's always base runners. So we'll keep an eye on that. Talk with George Kurtz. Looking at tomorrow's games, George, I will say this. It's 1-0 early here. So throw this one out the window. At worst, we're looking at a 3-1 under. And the overs didn't even come close. These are all low-scoring games. Are we at the point now? We had all the aces going today. Are we at the point, though, of just betting all unders tomorrow and hope we go 3-1 again?
Yeah, I thought the unders were the easy play today, right? You went Scooble, went game 1 for Detroit here. That's an easy under. Cleveland doesn't score runs, and Detroit's not scoring runs. Then you had Crochet and the American League versus Freed. That was an under. Yankees don't hit Crochet. Took a team total under there as well. Cubs and Padres might have been a little bit more interesting, but then the wind was blowing in. Right? Okay, under. I took the under tonight, too, because everything else is going under here, though probably my lowest bet was the Dodgers-Cincinnati, because I am worried about the Dodgers, beating up on the Reds' bullpen. If Green doesn't go far, they end up scoring 6-7 runs all by themselves here. That being said, it's postseason baseball. All right, generally, we don't get high-scoring games. The pitching is good. So not surprised at all that we're getting unders. Are we going to get them tomorrow? I mean, game 1, yes. Game 2, I wouldn't bet the under San Diego, Chicago, not till we find out about that wind again. Game 3, Belo Rodon, yeah, I think it's going to be an under as well. And I'm going to have the same problem tomorrow night with LA Cincinnati. I don't think right now I would bet the under. I'd be worried about the Dodgers beating up Zach Little.
All right, let's start with Detroit.
6.5, 6.5, and a 7. Eventually, Scott, these games are going to open up, right? Like George said, the aces are on the hill here. Plus, and Snell with another strikeout. I think that's his 4th, actually. So his prop, and that's another thing, George, for prop, you bet baseball props. The strikeout prop today, all 4 pitchers have gone over their number coming into tonight's game. Then they've all kind of
a little bit more, right? We're seeing managers trust the starting pitcher a little bit more. He's your age. He's going 6. He's going to go 7+. We're not going to rely on our bullpen. That should also help strikeout props.
The only one that didn't, Gabe, was Boyd for the Cubs. He only had 2.
Boyd. I forgot about Boyd. Yeah. You know what? That game, I forgot about Boyd. You're
but
right.
5-1. Yeah,
5-1.
5-1 over strikeouts. So, and I think 5-1 also over outs as well. Again, an indication that these managers are letting the starters anyway, at least with the aces on the hill today.
I didn't want to say
go
their
as
bullpens.
Yeah,
for later in the series, right? Yeah, exactly. If it goes to game 3, things are going to get chaotic with some managers overthink. We'll see if the Cubs are overthinking by doing what they're doing tomorrow.
Yeah, bullpen by committee, George. I mean, game 2, life on the line, and we're going bullpen by committee game. How did this team get into the postseason with that little pitching?
This makes no sense to me. You knew the Cubs have been locked in their spot forever. You knew you were playing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. How do you not have to pitch Tuesday? You didn't need to win over the weekend. You could have rested anybody you wanted to. If you want to save Emanaya for a possible game 3 or a possible game 1 division, fine. Why isn't Talion pitching tomorrow? I don't know why you're screwing around here.
But can you imagine, George? I've heard people say Imamaga is being saved, Scott, like for the Milwaukee. Like, you can't save a pitcher and get eliminated.
Yeah.
You're not playing a terrible team. I can understand you're playing a team.
You don't have that luxury.
No, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. Why would you want to blow your bullpen out? I don't understand this. So it's I wonder if they're doing something strange where who's ever going to be the long guy doesn't pitch well in the first inning. So they want to get if this guy pitched the first inning, then we'll go with the long guy. Stupid like that.
They could be lying too. They could be pulling like a Dodgers thing. Remember, Scott, with the Dodgers?
Yeah, face a couple batters because you got lefties.
Remember all day Emmett Sheehan starting. Then suddenly, no, Emmett Sheehan's not starting today. No, he's not starting. Then he comes in the second inning and pitches 5 innings.
Against the Phillies.
Yeah. They played the lefty, and they still got burnt. Right. Remember, Schwarber hit the home run anyways.
So Schwarber hit the home run anyway.
It could be so
and Harper got like a double.
I don't know this at all, but maybe it's something I'm just guessing here. Like Talion, who's going to pitch tomorrow, but he doesn't face the first 3 batters in the San Diego lineup all that well. He's not good against Machado. He's not good against Tatis.
That's what I'm saying.
He'll avoid him one time. So it could be that makes some sense here. I don't know anything about that, though.
They have to have something up their sleeve. They have to have something up their sleeve.
You would think. You would think. So, all right. So I tell you, you watch that Guardians. And not that I haven't seen Guardian games before, right? But man, when you actually like watch a game, like the whole game, as I did today for the first time with Cleveland in a long time, and then I'm waiting, George, for like, where's Albert Bell? Where's Jim Tomei? I mean, I am looking at one stiff after another. I'll throw it out. Like, how in the world did this team play so well? They got nobody outside of Quan and Ramirez in their lineup. I mean, it's just like, man, they can't score.
Let's also, remember, they're losing 2 key members of their bullpen as well, right? Clase, the other guy suspended. So, I mean, all sorts of, listen, a great job by the manager, but they have great pitching. They play close games and they play baseball. Generally, they don't make the mistakes we saw today, right? They're not knocking balls around in the outfield.
And they're in a bad division.
They're not making misplays at first. Yeah, that also helps, right? They're probably in the worst division. Well, either worst or second worst in baseball. Both Centrals are pretty weak there, so that helps as well. But they went on a hell of a run, and let's face it, Detroit choked a bit here, and Houston choked. So it made things a little easier there. But listen, whoever wins tomorrow, Detroit, Cleveland, I think they're going to be done next round when they play Seattle.
Who do you have winning it all, by the way?
I think it's going to be Seattle from the American League. Either Phillies. I go back and forth between the Phillies and the Dodgers in the National League. I'm probably more on the Dodgers again now because I like what they've done as far as putting those starters in the bullpen. Put Shea in there. Sasaki looked really good. I think, I hate to say it, man. Screw you, Gabe. Dodgers going to win it again.
I appreciate it. I think we will as well. I fear the Phillies a bit, but the Phillies choke in the playoffs a lot, guys. They're going to have a week off.
Yes.
They do. You know what I mean? They really do. I think they peak too early all the time.
Great job, George. We'll do it again soon. Thanks, man.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They know the minutia of game time decisions, when to call timeouts, when the kick, go for 2, and all that other stuff better than the head coaches, because the head coaches aren't watching 30, 35 games like sports fans are between college football and the NFL. All the head coaches are doing are watching game films. They may be watching 30 game films, but they're not watching game management. So the fan does know.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
It's put up or shut up time for some of these teams that have scheduled nothing but cupcakes, Donnie, to start the season without truly being tested. Are you, right? Miami, they've played ranked teams over and over and over and just beat Florida as well. So, some of these teams like Penn State, what are we going to get from them?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to In-Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Thanks again, George Kurtz, joining us, talking a little baseball with him. So we got 1-0 still. It's kind of both pitchers are now settled in. Hunter Green to start for Cincinnati, a little erratic there, gave up the leadoff home run. Dodgers put a couple of other runners on base. You know, they lose this game, they'll go back to the first inning and say, man, we had him on the ropes here a little bit, and we let him off the hook. So it's 1-0, bottom three. Dodgers, although I say that, the Dodgers got a couple of runners on here, first and second, with one out. Yeah, I tell you, Gabe, I'm not big on betting under 6.5, right? It's tough to do, but, you know, we're looking at 4-0 under today. You know, the bet I kind of like, I brought this up before with you. I don't see it on FanDuel, but I like betting, you know, when it's 6.5 or 7, who wants to do that? I like betting total hits, runs, and errors. You know, 6.5, 7 generally is about a 24.
I've never bet that.
Yeah, it's a really good bet. It really is, because you'll get 7 or 8 runs, but a lot of times you won't get that 24 hits, runs, and errors, believe it or not. But if you get 24, 25 hits, runs, and errors, chances are pretty good that you're going to get 7 runs. So you can win a lot more betting the under that than you can the actual total. It's not easy getting 25 in a postseason game. Like today, for example, if none of these games came even close. Now, the over-under didn't come close either, mind you. But hits, runs, errors, guards, that was 14-15. Cubs, Padres, it was 15. Even the Stankies, Red Sox, it was 19. So not even close to 25. So it's a little easier for me than under 6.5.
Yeah, no, I like your style. I like the look there. But eventually these games will open up, right? These are the wild card. It's early, short series. And like you said, Scott, imagine the Cubs, the Reds tomorrow. What are they doing? Some of these teams are going to advance, and they're going to run out of arms pretty quickly. Like, there's going to be a lot of bullpen games for teams. It's inevitable, not to mention pitchers that get hurt that you don't plan on. That's one thing that I like. And, Teoscar Hernandez, man. The Dodgers.
Did he get it?
Teoscar.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the thing with the Dodger players. You guys were just talking about it, like Vinny during the break, saying, man, the Dodgers are going to win. Like you got Ohtani, you got Betts, you got Freeman, and you got Muncy. It's like, oh, yeah, by the way, Teoscar Hernandez hits 35 home runs a year, too, eh? So you got to face it. It's like, by the way, yeah, Andy Paz has 29. Like, he's coming up. Like, it's this. Imagine being a pitcher. It wears you out, right? It's mentally draining pitching against Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman in a row. And then, like, you ease up a little bit, and Teoscar Hernandez goes deep on you. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And then if they add on, some of the free agent, players that are going to be out there.
Will Smith, Scott. Sorry, Will Smith is hurt. He's available to pinch hit. So he's not 100%. He's going to be ready for the weekend. They're sort of they're good enough that they can ease guys back in here. You know what I mean? So he's available. Right. He's on the roster. He's available to pinch hit. Oh, my goodness. They just did it again.
Back to back. Wow,
this team.
Tommy Edman.
I told you before the game, Tommy Edman was going to. I said before the game, guys, Tommy Edman's going to do something special. This is what he does in big games. He was the MVP last year. Check the tape, guys. You should roll it. SportsGrid. Get the damn tape, what I said. Tommy, dude, his prop was 0.5 hits tonight, Wetzel. Come on.
Wow.
Tommy Edman was the MVP last year. The National League Championship Series.
That's what I mean. That's what we're talking about. It's yes, Freeman had a great World Series, right? These guys do. But it's the secondary guys that aren't schmucks. They're really good players.
Kiki Hernandez
there's probably no pressure on those guys.
Too. His first at-bat, Scott, he lined one there's a single right up the leg. He's just one of these guys that gets better in the playoffs. And speaking of the over-under, man, just like that, we got 5 runs on the board. Yeah. That's the danger with the Dodger under. Their offense can put up a crooked number at any time.
Yeah. And now the Reds, what do the Reds do? Right? They're thinking, okay, I got 2 more games. Do I want to burn my bullpen? Do I want to use 7 innings or 6 innings
the Reds
anyway
are
of a
screwed,
bullpen?
Scott. That's what they're thinking.
Right?
they're like, man, it's 5-0. I bet you they're thinking we can beat these guys. We got a shot, and they're pros, but the guys in the dugout right now are thinking, this is kind of like, okay, yeah, we're not as good as they are. Like, they're not dumb. They're looking over and they're like, yeah, we're not as good as these guys are. We're going to need a miracle. Like, you know.
Fever hanging around 23-all after one.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
Against the Las Vegas Aces. Do they win or not? Money line Indiana?
Yes.
Should we?
Let's go with the Fever. Yes. Upset.
Let's
go.
do it. We'll talk to you tomorrow, folks.